I know there's a number of elements that came together. It's almost like the worst possible scenario, but not identifying it in advance and being able to, put that word out, to work with their families, to try to come up with something, that worked for them, for the kids and the schools, is just unacceptable. And I don't know how the families did it, but, thank you for those who were able to get their children to school, who disrupted their families and their lives to make these other arrangements. And I am dismayed to hear that we still have significant problems 5 weeks later. So I would ask Mr. Fulmer if you could send us a report on that, because we were initially getting reports on what this, the situation and how it was reaching resolution. And I don't recall, and if I missed a memo, you can let me know, but I don't recall any recent notifications that there were still some, significant problems. So if there are, I believe that, I as a board member, and I imagine my colleagues would want to be advised of that, and more importantly, when we're going to have them resolved. Because we have students that miss school, what are we going to do about that? Certainly, yes, it's not going to be held against them, but how are we going to help them catch up to what they missed? We'll never be able to give them that first day of school back, which is, one of the best days of the year, the first day and the last day, right? And they're the fun days to go back to school. But I apologize, and I mean, there's nothing that, I could have personally done about it, which there were, but there should have been notice, and there should have been some kind of identification and alternatives made available. But surely 5 weeks later, we've got to have it under control. I mean, I'm not hearing that we haven't.
There's only so many times you can say I'm sorry before it's just, I'm sorry, right? Like, I mean, what good does that do anybody at this point? So we can continue to apologize, but then I think we have to all, as a community, come together and have a really hard conversation. So to the gentleman that spoke up here and said, more drivers, more buses, unfortunately in Stafford County, the answer is less. We're going to have to do less. At some point, someone has to stand up and say, we don't have the capacity, or we don't have the capability to handle the capacity that we've been burdened with. And we want to be a school system that can help everybody and do everything for everybody, but we don't have it. And so the reason why we're in this boat is because we overpromised on something that we couldn't deliver. And that in and of itself, that's on us. That's on all of us for not just being honest. I don't know how long ago, but we can't continue to pretend. I can't make bus drivers appear. I can't make people not call out from work. I can't make the roads not be what they are in Stafford County. I can't make every day that I get a Stafford Sheriff's Department alert that there's another overturned truck or a car doing something. I can't make other roadways appear to make this. So yes, we have to get our kids out on the road as soon as possible. Before it is literally like, I mean, you want to talk hamster in a wheel. We're just running and running and running and running, and we're promising and promising and promising because we feel like that's the right thing to do. That's the good thing to do. And then we stand around and we've got angry, legitimately angry, frustrated, and tired parents because we overpromised on something that we couldn't deliver. And we knew we couldn't deliver it because we knew we didn't have the capability to handle it. We hoped that we could do it. Our thoughts were all in the right place. And then we found ourselves in a position where this app didn't work. Our parents are relying so heavily on the app continually, time and again, with its limitations. And there is literally no way to fix that without having the hard discussions of we have to go back and start over again. And we have to go back to a time where A plus B equal, I'm using math, A plus B equals C, and not if I factor in Z, which might be a consideration. This is what we do all day long. And then when we face the parents, we face them with this blank look on our blank stare on our face. And everybody's angry, nobody's happy. Until we really do start having these hardcore discussions, I don't know that we improve. I think the independent third-party study will help us, but I also don't think that study is going to tell us anything we don't know, and I don't think it's going to make resources appear out of the blue. So those are discussions that we need to start having as communities to try and figure out, absent an immediate solution, how can we provide one, and what is our long-term strategy here going forward? Because I don't think anybody wants to do a fourth year of this at all, ever again.
Please let us know where those pain points are. In my own district, there was a very unique situation that was probably only existing in my own district that probably never would have been discovered had we not heard from a parent to tell us, like, this just seems weird. Will you look into it for us? And we are happy to do that. With everything, thank you, everyone, for showing up. For our drivers in particular, for showing up, and then showing up again and picking up those extra routes to make sure all of our kids get where they need to go safely and with someone who's happy to see them, and usually the first and last smile they see before getting home to their families. Thank you to our teachers and our administrators and our custodial staff for putting in the extra hours waiting for those buses, and for the back-to-school nights and all the emails. And thank you to the families for sticking in there, either at the bus stops or in the car rider lines, or for filling out those sign-up geniuses to make sure the teachers have what they need and the PTOs have what they need to make sure our kids and our buildings are set up for success in this year moving forward.